Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. My name is Death by Pony, and last we left off, we're getting through this trial as quickly as we can, but being a little hard this time. So without further ado, let's hop into this. I figured.
The one who wasn't there. It's you, right, Nagito?
That's right. Nagito wasn't there. It was just me, Gundam, and Fuyuhiko.
You didn't come out, even though the alarm was going off like crazy. You weren't in your room, were you?
If that's the case, where were you?
Please, say something! If you don't hurry up and answer, I'm gonna suicide dive you!
If I may be frank, even if I wanted to go to the lounge, I couldn't.
You couldn't? What do you mean?
It's merely the foolish talk of the weak.
Not only did I not hear the alarm, I never even heard that rumbling sound.
You couldn't?
You're definitely fucking lying.
However, that is also true for me. It is obvious that I did not hear the alarm in Strawberry House. But I did not hear the rumbling sound either. Is that not strange? I mean, everyone else heard it.
To be honest, it's not just them. The same goes for me too.
Huh?
I was in a pretty deep sleep, so I thought that's why I couldn't hear it, but it wasn't that. I probably couldn't hear it at all.
Couldn't hear it? What does that mean?
Your rooms were soundproof.
You still don't know. Think about what the three of us who didn't hear a sound have in common, and I'm sure you'll figure it out.
They were in the fancy rooms. The only people who didn't hear the rumbling noise was Nikito, Senya, and Chiaki. The secret is where these three have in common. Could it have something to do with the guest rooms they were staying in? Yes. If that's the case, then I might be able to figure out what they have in common. Hangman's Gambit. Deluxe. That's going There we go.
I got it!
I had to figure out what the first fucking word was.
Nagito, Sonia, and Chiaki. The three of you were staying in deluxe rooms, right? If I recall, the deluxe rooms are...
Guest rooms are divided by quality grade. Deluxe room is soundproof and has excellent air insulation. Standard room may have so-so insulation, but it's still pretty decent. And the common room has severe airflow and draft problems.
The reason we could not hear the rumbling noise.
That's right. It was because the deluxe rooms have superior sound insulation.
Smorts.
You actually noticed that. Nice catch, Hajime. Are you using your ultimate reserve corps student talent? Now then, you guys must understand by now, right? The true identity of Nekomaru's killer.
Hold on a sec. Why does that lead to who the killer is?
Why? Well, that fact just now is a very important clue, and a decisive factor in identifying the killer.
Decisive factor?
So I feel like I understand what Nikito means. If I think about the features of the guest room, that person's actions are clearly strange because that person might be the killer. Is that what it means?
Crap!
Hold on, this person is really the right one. So get over one more time.
You're the only one!
Gun him!
Gundam, there's something I want to ask you. When the alarm rang at the Strawberry House Lounge,
What's wrong with that? If the bell of catastrophe rings throughout the night, it is the universe's providence to stop it.
why were you able to hear it?
Hear what?
I mean, you were also staying in a deluxe room, right? Nagito was staying in a deluxe room in the same house on the same floor, and he couldn't even hear it. So why were you able to hear that alarm?
Gun him!
Now that you mention it,
Gundam?
There was only one possibility. You weren't in your room at the time. That's why, even though you were staying in a deluxe room, you still went to the lounge. Am I right?
Gundam, you have some sort of explanation, right?
Gundam probably couldn't return to his room because of Fuyuhiko.
Me?
After you saw Nekomaru heading to the tower, you stayed at the lounge for a while. Am I correct? Until the moment that alarm started ringing, right? If you were in the lounge for that long, the killer who had left earlier obviously wouldn't be able to go back.
Even though Mekamaru's murder was a death trap that utilized the alarm in his chest, the killer still needed to prepare the murder in advance.
like putting Nekomaru in sleep mode and tying him up with the wire.
In order to do that, the killer needed to be waiting for Nekomaru at the tower. Which means when Fuyuhiko witnessed Nekomaru, the killer was already at the tower.
And once they tried to go back, they couldn't because Fuyuhiko was at the lounge.
In their original plan, the killer should have returned to their room before the alarm in the lounge went off. And they were supposed to stay in their room. They weren't planning to come out and go to the lounge.
Which means they wouldn't have heard the alarm or the rumbling sound, thus proving they were in the room.
Just like us.
The best case scenario would have been if those two in the lounge had gone to check the deluxe rooms. After all, if they personally saw the killer sleeping in their room, it gives the killer a stronger alibi. Unfortunately, they failed to secure that alibi.
Because I was in the lounge.
So the killer couldn't go back to their room, and ended up hearing the lounge's alarm.
Hey, what are you doing? This ruckus, it's louder than the supreme rule of the netherworld bellowing for a sacrifice. Don't go making all that noise so suddenly.
But why'd you come out? You should have hid till the excitement died down.
If Gundam tried to hide, and if those two went to his room to check on him, he would have been found out. That would have been the worst possible outcome. That's why he couldn't just stay hidden.
If those two had just checked the deluxe rooms as planned, that would have been ideal, but how ironic. The moment Fuyuhiko set foot in the lounge, your plan was doomed.
Gundam? Please, can you at least say something?
Answer me this, including myself in my 4 dark devas of destruction. How many ears do we possess?
Huh?
The answer is 10. That's right, I possess 10 ears. That means I have 5 times the hearing of a normal human. The soundproof system here may as well not exist.
Is that your argument?
You bastard! Do you understand the situation you're in right now?
Do not panic. The truth shall now commence. At the time, I left my room to go to the bathroom. By coincidence, I heard the alarm. That's right. That's all it was. The world is always so simple.
Are you saying it was just a coincidence? Isn't that timing a little too perfect?
And yet, I'm being suspected by all of you. It seems it was actually horrible timing on my part.
I see. You're still holding out. Well, you don't have to admit it. We're going to decide who the killer is with the majority vote anyway. So, why don't we just go ahead and start voting? It's obvious that Gundam is the killer.
Hold on a sec.
You know, Hajime, this class trial, this killing, it's merely the opening act, you know.
Hey! What do you mean the class trial is just the opening act?
Perhaps I should say, it's just a farce? Just a boring farce. So boring, so stressful. I'm so painfully bored that I might develop stomach ulcers.
I don't like him.
Seriously. Let's just hurry up and finish this before I collapse from poor health.
Nagito, something definitely happened to you, didn't it?
Hmm?
At some point during the investigation, your behavior became even weirder. What actually happened? Did you discover something?
Well, let's just leave that fun for later. And finish this opening act already.
Ah! You said opening act again!
Please hold on! We have yet to hear Gundam's rebuttal!
But he's completely shut up. Perhaps he can't argue anymore.
Gundam!
I was simply at a loss for words after being dumbfounded by your pathetic assumption. In fact, I shall deny the very basis. Your assumption has been wrong since the beginning.
Since the beginning?
Based on your assumption, I hung Nekomaru from the 4th floor of the tower and made the floor descend to the 1st floor. From there, after returning to Strawberry House, I was present when the alarm at the lounge went off, correct? Although going to and fro is busy enough as it is, how would I be able to travel between both houses anyway?
I see. The contact elevator was broken.
As I recall, the killer tampered with the Grape House control panel, which shut down the elevator. Plus, the stopped elevator should have been facing the Grape House side. If so, the human who used the elevator would have left it at Grape House. For these reasons, it's an indisputable fact that the killer destroyed the elevator at Grape House.
And what's wrong with that?
If the elevator was broken at Grape House, you wouldn't be able to return to Strawberry House.
However, I was already at Strawberry House. I was present when the alarm in the lounge started ringing. Which means your assumption is clearly wrong.
Are you serious? And here I thought it's already been decided.
Have you learned your lesson, pitiful humans? You cannot overcome this contradiction.
That's wrong. When something is obviously wrong, that's when a contradiction is born. There's no such thing as a contradiction that can't be overcome.
That elevator was the only means of travel between the two houses. As long as that elevator was broken, your assumption collapses.
Plus, the elevator was broken at Grape House.
If the killer cannot return to Strawberry House,
Since I was at Strawberry House at that time, there's no question that the following crime is impossible.
It would have been different if they had an accomplice.
Or if there was a secret passageway.
How much longer do you plan to lecture me? Why don't we stop this already?
Come on, my property. Ruin power so I can shoot the gun. Okay,
That
I need
elevator
accomplice.
was the only.
Alright, come on, come on.
That elevator was the only means of travel between.
Oh yeah.
wrong. No, there should have been another way to move between the two houses without the elevator.
Such a method does not exist.
Yes, it does.
Then why don't we ask the person who actually used that method?
Doing a lot of selecting.
You're the only one! Nagito, you should know.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Don't play dumb. You appeared so suddenly that one time because you used that method, right?
Nagito, what are you here? Because I showed up.
There's a secret passage connecting the first floor of Strawberry House to the third floor of Grape House. Isn't that right?
Jeez. Once again, I let the reserve course show off.
How dare you?
But you're right. There's a door on the floor of the Octagon, which is on the first floor of Strawberry House.
I'm carrying all of you.
After I opened the door and went down... Surprise, surprise! I ended up in the Monokuma archive, which is...
Meaning, the third floor and the fourth floor are actually connected.
Plus, once you've cleared the final dead room once, you can pass through it as many times as you want.
If they used that secret passage, they could have gone between the two houses as much as they wanted.
Infinity Unlimited Flame! However, what if the killer was unaware of the existence of the final dead room?
I doubt you didn't know how it was, because you always say you are a deathly chalice.
There's no way they didn't know.
That is merely an illusion you have fabricated from your own suspicion. If you value your life, you should stop with your scrutiny.
There's no way I can stop.
What did you say? Don't make me angry! You wouldn't like me when I'm angry! Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, you could travel through multiple planes, provided you use a spacious wormhole. However, how frail, I say! Your decayed illusion Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
His argument is exhausting. Just listening to it makes me tired. I still need to skillfully cut back against his words so he doesn't.
Even if the turbid box doesn't exist, however, how frail I say! Your decayed illusion. Shall I feed you to the progeny of vile deities?
I can't back down!
Oh yeah.
I already proved a secret passage exists. The secret passage was at the Octagon.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to, at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
I mean, try proving the evidence that the killer went to the Octagon, right? In that case, I should have it too. He which dwells in the light.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't at least pray to the key which dwells in the light!
Hey.
Know the limits of your own reasoning! You say the killer went to the Octagon? Don't bark, you cur! If you don't want to drown in the maelstrom of blind...
Allow me to cut through those words!
That's the only thing that would have come from the Octagon.
The wire used to string up Nekomaru's body. The hammer that looked like the weapon. And the chain on the door in the tower. Those are all the items that weren't in Funhouse. Where did the killer obtain them?
I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, remember to hit like and subscribe. That way, not only I know that you're enjoying the content I'm making, but YouTube brings you back here to see what happens next. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
How it's supposed to feel.